let's go ahead and get started, and if you can come forward a little bit if you'd like to. I'm recording the service so that those that aren't able to be here will have an opportunity to watch what we've done today. Okay, on behalf of Alice's family, I think most of you are family. We welcome you. My name is Dan Lloyd. I'm the pastor of Cascadia Church in Auburn, and I make myself available to help families when there's opportunities like this. So I want to thank each one of you that I've had a chance to meet already. We've talked on the phone, we've done some emailing, Zoom meetings. You got that? That's fine, that's not a problem. So I'll be saying just a few words. We have a limited amount of time today. We're going to listen to the song. We also want to give you an opportunity to say a few words if you'd like to. I'm going to read some memories from Dan, and the other Dan, and so we'd like to hear from some of you as well. We'll give you an opportunity to do that in a moment. And because we're recording, if you can use your outside voice, the camera will pick that up and people can hear what you have to say. So I'm going to continue by reading some scripture. Psalm 23 is a passage of scripture that's brought comfort to probably billions of people over thousands of years, and I trust that these words will do the same for us as we're gathered here today. King David of Israel wrote these words: "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Alice Ann Montgomery was born on September 28, 1935 in Sturgis, Michigan, to Archie Gibson and Alice Tillman. She passed from this life to the next on November 7, 2020 in Tacoma, Washington. And she was preceded by her husband Furman, and those two will be laid rest next.
Actually, no, Fred.
Fred. Okay.
Furman was also her husband.
Furman was the first husband.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Fred. Thank you for the correction, Fred. And those two will be
Fred and
next to each other. Okay. Got that.
Yeah, he's here already.
Yeah, he's here. Okay. Let's see how I do with the kids then. Children: Larry, Mike, Kathy, Dan, Freddie, and Steve.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay. Good, Steve. Good. And some siblings: Mary, Archie, Lucille, and Robert.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Great. Well, we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to talk about Alice together. I had an opportunity to talk with some of the family members, learn a few things, and I'm just wondering, where do you start? I'm going to start with strong will. Okay. How about fearless?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think another real strong quality, it's come up several times, unbeatable at Scrabble. Okay, is that fit? Did you have an honorary Scrabble game this week?
Yes, we did, actually, we did, yes.
Who won?
Kathy, actually.
Kathy.
But Kathy was her biggest competitor.
We talked a little bit about how each one of you, some of your siblings, are like your mother, so it's also the Scrabble skills. It's wonderful. Alice excelled at Toastmasters, and I think we talked a little bit about if maybe she was here physically with us, she would be leading us.
Well,
Possible. Yeah. So she was involved in Toastmasters typically before women were involved in these kinds of things. And I think that was just her. She was kind of out there on the edge and just doing things, kind of trailblazing along the way. She grew up in an era when it was difficult for women to earn a college degree. or to have a career. But she was intelligent, she was visionary, she was passionate, and she wanted to study physics, but was denied entrance to the College of Science because she was a woman. And I am so glad times have changed. I'm so glad. That's the right thing. It's just unfortunate, I suppose, that she wasn't able to pursue that passion, but she pursued, I think, a greater one, which is theater. That door, when one door closes, another one opens up. And theater was a huge part of Alice's life. She was the president of the Fairbanks Drama Association. Fairbanks is what connected us together. I was born there, and some of you are from there, so that's a good thing. In fact, we lived in Fairbanks at the same time. We didn't know each other, but we did at the same time. So drama was her love. It was her passion. A very positive way for who she really is. Her character, her zeal, her passion to be just put out there, let her personality be shown in that way. So, enough about what I've said. We would like to hear from some of you. If you want to just say a couple of words, maybe you have a story or a memory, maybe some way that Alice impacted you, or the way that maybe you impacted her, that's okay, you can do that as well. Is there somebody who'd like to say a few words? It's not an obligation, but just an opportunity if you'd like. Yes, in the back there, thank you.
Should I stay here?
Why don't you come up front, we can, if you don't mind. And that way we can see you and hear you, and that would be really good.
So I just wanted to push off of how Grandma Alice was always so passionate about everything, but I think that my favorite thing about her was that huge family, all different people, clashing, coming together, moving in and out of each other. She, in one conversation, could look at you. She could tell you about something that she did in her life, and she could make you feel empathized with. She could make you feel merited in your world and in what you were doing. She could find a way, no matter what the situation was, no matter what your feelings were, to make you laugh. And to love you for your laugh, and to make you want to laugh more, and to make you want to participate, and to make you want to find that drama in your life and to make it the shiniest thing you could possibly do. And I just really love that about her. She always made me feel really loved and like I belonged.
And you got her laugh.
Little.
Good, thank you. Thanks. Someone else?
Oh,
Yeah, come on, Larry.
so Mom was the one that got me more involved in theater too. And in fact, the only show that I was involved in that was sold out before the end of the opening weekend was one I was with Mom at, and that was when we did On Golden Pond in Fairbanks. It was a small theater, so that's part of the reason it sold out. At the end of the 90s, she got to use Dan and I's condo in Cabo. I think it was the 6th year after we got it. And then for every year up until about 4 years ago, they were there when we left the country to go on vacation, and that was wonderful. I mean, they were in a separate room, so it was just okay. But yeah, we had, and after Fred wasn't coming, I had to be the driver a few times to get her all the places. It wasn't that bad that it was sometimes hard to find parking places to the places that I knew how to walk to, but I didn't know how to drive to and find a parking place. But yeah, she really enjoyed her times in Cabo. This picture you have is at the poolside bar of one of those resorts. And if you look at her face, you can tell she was able to enjoy herself. There's another great picture I have. In fact, it might even be this one. You're actually the other side here, aren't you? You're cut out of this picture, yeah. So I might have took this picture with my sister and my mom just having a great time, and she was able to do that for 15 years that I was going to Cabo on vacation. That was the 2 weeks I get to see Mom, for sure, you know.
And that also afforded us to get a lot of other people to see Mom because they would come down there.
Yeah, because you know sometimes if you invite somebody to Cabo, they'll come. And so that was a lot of fun, and it really meant I got to see both her and Fred a lot more, starting the end of the 90s. So that was great fun. And mostly, I mean, that was Mom. I mean, it's hard to describe, It's like your whole life. She's been Mom my whole life, so what do you say? It's... Anyway, yeah, so...
Thank you.
That's nice.
Good. Someone else.
All right,
Yeah, hold up.
I actually have a couple of things here.
Okay.
One for me. On top of the theater that Mom did, after she wasn't able to perform anymore, she insisted that we get involved with the local theater here in town, and we were big supporters of the Tacoma Performing Arts. And actually, we still have tickets to a show that got canceled because of COVID. The Righteous Brothers. I still got 3 tickets if anybody wants to go. But she also got me involved in theater when I was younger, and pushed. She didn't push. She talked me into. My first show was when I was 10 years old. She dragged me to the tryouts for Fiddler on the Roof. She was trying to get a part in that, and she talked me into trying out as an extra. And lo and behold, I got a part, and she didn't. So, yeah.
That's really hard.
But the person that she locked out to was a really good friend of ours, is Shirley Hughes. And I did my theater thing for a while and all of that until I got old enough to start doing my own thing. But that was a lot of fun, and I got involved with behind scenes and on stage, and helped me get over my nervousness of being in front of people, and all of that. And I know that I'm gonna really miss her. But somebody else here today wrote something that they would like to be read, and now I can't find my glasses.
They're on your head.
No, wrong one. No. There they are. I got them. One of the things that Mom and I used to do in the last few years, well, actually the last, 12 years I guess it has been, is my little cousin Jessica has been a bowler since she was about 8, 9 years old. And whenever we'd go over to Wenatchee to visit Jessica and Bill and Tanya, we always went and watched her bowl. And then she'd get involved in tournaments that brought her to this side of the mountain. And if they were anywhere close to Tacoma, Mom would insist that we go and watch. Well, I wanted to go and watch my little cousin bowl also. And this is from her. I don't even know where to start. My Aunt Alice was everything to me. She was always laughing and in a happy mood. Whenever my parents and I went over to visit, or if I ever had a tournament, she would truly one of the best aunts. We would always ask me how bowling was going, how I did in the last of my tournaments. She was always supporting me in my bowling, and she would show up to the ones that were close to her. If I was even having a bad game, I knew I could always count on her to change my attitude for being sad to happy. She was always saying that, I got this. I miss you so much. I love you. My Aunt Alice meant so much to me. She was more like a grandma to me. I called her that so many times and she never corrected me. So I would just always have that big smile on her face. And I know that, I don't know, is it okay if I say it? Well, my little cousin Jessica is all growing up. She's now part of the Professional Women's Bowling Association. And she has her first tournament in August in Spokane. And I know that right now, Mom is so proud of you. And she's just got the biggest smile in the world. And she'll always be there for you. So, thank you.
minutes left. Let me just read something now. Yep, okay.
As long as I've known her all the time, she's been a real smart, sharp, strong-willed woman. And even when she was really young, 20, 21, I first met Alice Ann summer of 1956, if you can believe that, long ago, right? But at that time I was 14 years old, totally clueless, and totally resistant to authority. She don't like that resistant to authority. It's really bad, real quick. It's a good thing too, because I got kicked out of school right away. She had to go through, okay, here she is. She's maybe 21 years old, pregnant with, She had to go to my high school to answer to the principal to my behavior. I was smoking in school, so I gotta get kicked out, right? So anyway, I get kicked out. And in the meantime, she's using her authority over me, right? Which is a good thing. Eventually, I think all our efforts really paid off. Yeah, kind of paid off.
You're not in jail.
I'm sure right now she's making suggestions to people as to what to do and how to do it. And I'm gonna miss her. Maybe someday we'll meet again.
Thank you. So this is from Dan, and he writes this. So, Mom, my memories of her changed with the seasons of my life and hers. When I was little, I remember Mom being home, ironing clothes and watching TV at the same time, telling us to go out and play. Holding me when I hurt myself, laughing out loud at lots of funny stuff. She laughed a lot, and she laughed loudly. Singing songs. Found a peanut? There's a hole in the bottom of the sea. Dan, can you hum a few bars? I don't know that.
We all know.
And Helen had a steamboat. I sang all those with my kids too. Great. I remember in kindergarten I came home once and bragged that I knew how to count to 1,000. And some kids couldn't even count to 10. She sat me down and said, Danny, I'm very proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself too. Always do your best, and you can always feel that way. Don't ever think you are better than anyone else, though. Just be the best you can be. Now go outside and play. Later, I remember Mom always had advice and a saying for everything. I'd say if, and she'd say, if ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd be no need for takers. You know that.
We heard it a lot.
I'm sure you did. And I'd say, I wish.
Wish
Wish that were horses and beggars ride.
That's it. Right. Wow, okay. And I'd say, but everyone. And she'd say, if everyone jumped off a cliff, I guess you do too. Yes, exactly. Okay. She had hundreds of these. The main theme was always be satisfied with what you have and make the best of it. That's wise. That's probably how I am most like her. I make the best of the present and am satisfied with what I have. I remember one time I lied to her. I don't remember what about anymore, but of course it lay on my conscience for a couple of days. I finally had to tell her that I lied. She said, I know you lied. How does it feel to be a liar? Man, I still feel terrible just thinking about it. She said it many times. Nobody likes a liar, a cheat, or a thief. Later in life, I remember Mom working, coming home and making dinner, playing cards. We went to church. Sometimes we'd get a real treat and go to McDonald's for a burger, and A&W for a root beer float. That was the good stuff. We all got busier. Never too busy for Christmas stockings and Easter baskets. Mom was always there when I needed her, though. She gave me $5,000 for the down payment of my first house. I struggled to pay her back, and she finally said, just pay me back someday when I need it. She never did that I know of. I always knew Mom loved me, but she wasn't lovey-dovey. She She laughed out loud a lot. We give a little kiss on the lips, and then she'd say, now go out and play. I love you, Mom. I'm going to go out now and play. So, well written. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Would you? Great choice. Well, Ann Montgomery made a deep impact on many, many lives. She left lasting ripples that will continue for generations to come. Freddie, I understand that you were your mother's caregiver.
I was.
Yeah, for several years. Thank you. Thank you so much. That means so much to the family, to me personally as well. And of course to you. I'm so grateful. Thank you. When I met with the family to prepare for today, we talked a little bit about what our time would look like. We talked about how there would be some memories shared, we'd listen to some music, I'd say a few words. But I asked the family also, if your mother could say one more thing to us today, what do you suppose she would say? She would tell you that she loves you. She would tell you how proud she is of each one of you, who you are first, and then what you do. Or maybe what you don't do. She misses you, of course, as much as you miss her. So I'm going to close our time with a prayer. And I want to thank you for letting me be a part of this moment as your family. This is a significant moment. And it's a place where we will go in the future and remember and reflect and continue to honor your family. So let's take a moment and pray together, shall we? Father in heaven, we thank you for these moments we've been able to be together today. Thank you for Ann Montgomery, for the way that she lived, the way that she loved, the impact that she made on these people and countless others in so many different ways. And we are mindful, God, that you made her and you gave her to us, not because you had to, but because you wanted to. You knew that through her there would be life, and for each one whose life intersected with hers, their life would be better. And there are many ways that so many made her life better as well. So I pray that her memory would be long and lasting from generation to generation, that you would give the family strength, comfort, courage, wonderful memories, more memories to come, not only today, but in the days before us. And I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, that concludes our time. We are on a schedule, not ours, but the military's, government's. You know how that is, some of you do. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of this today.
Thank you, Pastor, for the good word and for your time as well. Lawrence, if you're all right, I'll go ahead and take possession of the urn and the flowers and we'll pick them out to your site.
Okay, yes.
I heard a little bit of you talking about that. I was trying to meet you. What a good son. You all, I'm sure she appreciates your skills.
If I would have gone later, I would have said, I'm going to challenge you to always smile. Because you could always tell how she was feeling. So it was not a mystery sometimes when she was upset.
I wish I could have stayed for one long. Condo and Cabo. That's wonderful.
Well, that was when I was salty.
And I can tell you,
And she was making me come and visit her a lot.